This is Wages of Cine, 31 Days of Horror. I'm Dan Beck. This is...
Hey, I'm Trey Davis. Nice to meet you.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Thanks for having me tonight.
You're welcome. You're
It's
welcome.
a strange place you got here.
Thanks for coming out and watching a movie. So
Had fun.
What did we watch?
It's called...
From the makers of Reanimator, From Beyond.
And it was way beyond my wildest expectations, I can tell you that.
Nice, nice.
I'm a fan of gore, and if you love gore, this is your movie. Especially from the 80s.
So this was directed by Stuart Gordon, who did Reanimator.
Also a great film.
Stars Jeffrey Combs, which was Herbert West in Reanimator, and Barbara Crampton.
I do remember Barbara Crampton from Reanimator, because there are a lot of nudie shots of her in both films.
Also stars Ken Foree.
From the start, kind of started off slow, but it gradually got into to the gore, which I like. I told Dan this earlier, as a kid, 1986, 87, when I used to have the VHS films all in the movie stores. This was one of the boxes that I saw where the skin is being grabbed off the face, and I always wanted to see it. My parents would never let me see it. So tonight is the first night I've seen the movie, and I can tell you it did not let me down one bit.
Even after all this time.
Even after all this time. I'd probably watch it another 1,100 times if I had a chance.
You'll probably watch it again.
I probably will. I'll probably buy the DVD. I'd love to have it on VHS, but
I think it's out on Blu-ray now.
I mean, honestly, I like the old VHS color cartoonish looking horror film boxes.
But you can see it in its pristine state. You can still get the...
we watched it tonight on regular
on
DVD.
DVD, yeah.
It wasn't Blu-ray.
But it's Blu-ray now.
It still was fun to watch.
Yes, it was very fun to watch. So, like you said, starts off kind of slow. But I'm surprised at how illuminated it is. It's like, it's very well lit.
It's so lit. Then one of the first scenes, the psychiatrist goes into the house where they have this machine called the Resonator with tuning forks. And she's trying to find the light switch like they're in the dark, but it's completely lit up. She's still flipping switches. And they have to go to the basement to throw this mega switch of lights to make the house light up, but it's already completely lit up. Yeah, so you're right. That was pretty funny.
And you would think for a horror movie it would be lots of shadows and various things like that, but it's very pink. It's very red and pink.
It was very slimy. It was very pink. I think they just wanted you to focus in on the gore. There was no acting in this movie whatsoever. It was just straight up gore, which was great, which I liked. It's good.
So we got gore, Barbara Crampton in some BDSM wear.
Yeah.
Ken Foree in his Speedo running around the house with a knife.
Something for the ladies, of course.
Herbert West in pajama bottoms, and that's it, with a shaved head.
A shaved head and a worm coming out of his head, nonetheless.
That is his pineal gland.
That's right. That's correct. It was his third sexual eye that was coming out of the middle of his forehead.
And when it actually helps you see, it kind of looks like a solarizing effect.
Yeah. Now, remember Predator, when they were trying to do the IR in Predator, and we thought it was so cool when it came out, but it's so shitty now when you look at it? This is 1,000,000 times worse than that. The filter that they put on this isn't... I don't even know what they were trying to portray. It's like an alternate reality, but it was just a bunch of colors.
And it makes everything so beautiful.
And that's what they said. They're like, now I see. It is so beautiful, but it's not beautiful at all. It's a cheesy effect, but it worked for me because it made the movie even that better. So,
and so in the movie, all the craziness going on, they're trying to portray science and the doctor is like working with Crawford, which is Herbert West. I mean, it's Herbert West. Is Jeffrey Combs' character, and they just keep going up, turning it on.
Yeah,
they're like they see something, and then there's danger. They turn it off.
I've got the theory behind that. I do have the theory behind that. If they didn't turn it on, the movie would be over.
Yeah.
The movie could not go on if they turned the instrument off. So, turn it on the first time, bad things happen. Turn it on the second time, even worse things happen with gore. But they got to turn it on again, and it's even worse than the first and second time. And then I think they turn it on a total of 4 or 5 times. The gore gets worse and worse and worse until finally, as with every horror movie, everybody ends up dead except for one person, which is usually the heroine.
Yes.
I guess you could call it heroine if you want to. But at the end of the movie, I think she, and I know I'm kind of skipping around here, but she still had it inside of her. It ended on an awkward laugh, like she knew it was inside of her.
I think it was setting up for a sequel.
Did they ever make a sequel?
I don't think so. I don't think so. This one didn't have the impact that Reanimator had, because Reanimator kind of had the cult draw, but it was a really fun movie. This one, it seems like there's not a lot going on. It didn't seem like it took up a lot of time. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%. It was for one specific reason, and it was visual effect. That's the only reason this movie was made. It's to gross people out. That's the only reason. And I told Dan this when we were watching it. And I don't know. I don't think he buys my theory, but it's a mix between The Thing, because there's a lot of John Carpenter's The Thing, the original Thing. I'm not talking about the one they made, a year or two ago. There's a little bit, I think, of Dune in there at one point. That's debatable because I'm pretty sure Dune was made before this movie, but it may not have been. But there's a Dune scene in the movie. Yeah, wormy, almost to the T what the worm looks like in the movie. And there was a third movie I kind of threw out there that I thought it reminded me of. Dan, help me out. What was that?
Yeah, I did have it.
I had it too, but I seem to have lost it. But anyway, there's a couple of different movies I think it played upon and put them together and just tried to just give you a visual of all those movies put together, because the theme of the movie was pretty goofy.
Yeah, I agree. It was just there for the special effects.
Absolutely, they did a good job too.
But it was like there were a lot of sets. You could see some of the walls moving. It was really
most of it was in the house, though. I mean, it was
but some of that was like when they're coming down the stairs. Like the banisters are just all over the place.
Yeah, and I didn't mention this to you, but there is a scene at the very end when the main being is chasing the woman back up the stairs. Did you notice there's just this zombie that's almost like the zombie sitting here? You have to go back right before, and can we ruin the movie for people on this?
Well, you already seen.
Yeah, I guess we kind of ruined it. Anyway, they end up blowing the house up. But as she's running back up, knew that would happen. Right before they blow the house up, she's running back up the stairs and the thing is following her. There's literally a zombie-looking thing just kind of right at the stairs. It's like a statue of a zombie.
I'm going to have to go back.
Go back and look at that, because I did notice that. I didn't say anything about it, but I was like, was that there before? But it was just kind of odd.
I'm going to check that out.
Kind of odd to me.
So, when we do our movie reviews, this is 31 Days of Horror, we do a sort of rating, and we choose whatever we want to rate it.
Okay.
Like we do a poop scale if it's really bad, so it gets so many poops.
Right.
But if it's a good bad movie, we can give it something else.
So give me kind of the premise here.
So
What
if
is your
if Reanimator?
Say if it's a 10 poop movie. What's your 10 poop
it's
movie?
1 to 5.
1 to 5. Sorry. What's your 5 poop movie that you've blessed with 5 poops before?
I don't know. I
Would
can't
this
remember.
stuff be in that category?
I think the stuff may actually be like one that we actually rate.
Okay. All right.
So
Right.
it can be. It doesn't have to be a poop. It can be something from the movie. So I'll go first.
All right.
I give it 3.5 matzo balls.
Matzo balls. Yeah. Yeah. There were 5 in the bucket. Yeah, it's pretty good. I'm not going to go with matzo balls. I'm just going to go with an overall rating of movies like this that I like to watch. I like the old school 80s, 70s horror flicks with gore and cheesy gore, stuff like that. With probably The Stuff is one of my favorite. I could watch that movie a million times and never get tired of it. That's pretty much on the top of my list. So, in terms of poop rating, I can't give it a poop rating. I really liked it. In terms of rating this movie on a scale of 1 to 10.
No, 5.
5, sorry. 1 to 5. That's hard to do, 1 to 5.
Yeah.
Because I kind of want to give it more than 5. I really.
5 is awesome.
All right, so I've been
Like
anticipating.
Strike Commando could be 5.
Yeah, so Strike Commando is definitely a 5. So it wasn't that cheesy enough to do that, but I've been anticipating watching this movie since I saw it on the movie. I'm going to give it a 4. A 4 out of 5, I guess, is the scale.
For what?
4 in terms of.
Like I gave it 4 matzo balls. That's something from the movie.
Oh
I
gosh.
know you're new at this.
I am new at it.
And the thing is they pop up at the bottom of the screen here when you say it.
Let's
is
see
kinda awesome.
here. This being changed times at least 8 times. I'm going to give it 7 transformations.
You can't give it 7 transformations.
Why not?
Okay, 7 transformations.
The being transformed at least that many times.
Okay, we'll go with
All right,
I'll
all right,
I'll
hold
let
on.
you do 7.
If we got to go back to matzo balls.
No, you don't have to do matzo balls. You can do transformations.
I don't think they were matzo balls.
You just can't do
It was some kind of meat on the bottom. It had like a potato on the top. It looked like a cooked piece of dog turd. I don't know what it was. When y'all watch the movie, you'll see what we're talking about. They got a bowl. They're hungry and they want to eat, and they eat the shit. I don't know what it is. It's boiled up in a pot.
It looks like a meat pie or a pot pie that's just been like sort of put
like a
into
meatball.
ball.
It's like a meatball, and it's boiling in water, and he just slops them anyway. So, okay.
So you can still do transformations, but it's 1 to 5.
I don't like your scale. All right. Then whatever's in that pot, whether it's a matzo ball, whether it's latex, or wherever it's a ball of dog shit, I think there's 5 of them in there. I give it all 5. And I'd eat them.
You can't do that. I already gave it that.
Why can't I get the same rating?
Because that's not the way it's done. You have to choose something different.
Well, I like to think outside the box.
Okay, you give it 5 matzo balls. I give it 3.5 matzo balls.
No, you already said 5.
No, I said 3.5.
Okay.
So what you would say is we like this movie.
I liked it a lot. It was good.
Would you say you loved it? You
I
gave
would-
it 5.
I loved it. It was great. I
It's a fun
enjoyed
movie.
sitting here in this studio watching this movie. It was awesome.
And hot.
It was hot. That's why I have a sweaty rag right here. But yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it. As the as the screen clearly shows, they never really pulled his face like that.
It was a little bit like that.
A little bit. They touched his shoulder. It was like a mushy shoulder. They never really pulled his face, but he does transform a good bit. And the last creature is pretty cool. It actually looks like from another movie. There's another movie with a creature like that.
Did it have an arm just come out of something?
No, but at the end of it, these 2 guys actually. This guy eats another guy, but he's still inside of him.
He only eats his head, but then he grows a body inside.
He grows a body inside of him. This guy's still got the woman by the leg, all right? Then the guy that he ate busts out of this monster and they start eating each other. That's a pretty good part of the movie. Definitely check that part out.
It's wonderful.
It is very good. Someone else likes
Yeah,
it.
they do, don't they?
They love it. Come on in. They might like the movie.
They might.
But Dan, thanks for having me.
Welcome. Thanks for reviewing.
I would love to review another movie with you and argue about matzo balls and how you rate movies, because obviously
You don't get it.
I don't get it at all.
Obviously, he does not watch
Don't
our
get it.
reviews on YouTube.
Not a one.